Hey, what's up you guys? It's Chris, and in today's video we're doing a very different style of video that I don't think I've ever done before. I've never made like a YouTube video dedicated to like any kind of like friend fallout or any issues with my friends or anything of the sort. I've never been the type to want like attention on friendship fallouts because I already go through my fair share of them, as y'all have seen. But today I'm going to be talking about why I really left Los Angeles on Monday this week. Today is Sunday, November 2nd, and obviously if you're here, you've probably seen a lot of the back and forth that's been going on over the internet of everyone saying their side and their side, but I feel like there's so much bits and pieces that are being left out and no one truly knows why I really left LA. And I today am obviously going to be taking the time to talk about this because I don't like when things linger in the air. I don't like whenever it's up for debate whether I'm a weird person or not without people even knowing the full story. So today I'm going to be telling the full story. Now, let me just start off. I wrote some pointers down because I've just been peeping overly weird more and more shit. So let me start by saying this. I never wanted this to ever make the internet, ever. Like, whenever this first happened, after I got home, the day I got home, before I even announced that I was back in Houston, Sty went on TikTok Live and said that my cat was the reason that I went home, but I hadn't even announced that I've got home yet. And originally I honestly planned on telling you guys, oh, I just had family stuff going on. So we both originally planned to keep this offline. So he said, I don't know why you left, but I told everyone you had to go because the pet resort would have kept your cat if you didn't come pick it up by the end of today. You can go along with it if you want, just didn't feel the need to have people in our personal business. We both agreed to keep this off of the internet and we proceeded to just go about our business. Now, whenever I was going home, I was obviously very upset, and so I called my mom and I was just talking to her about, you know, everything that was going on, and I was really upset about it, and everything that I was saying on this live will make sense once you finish this video, trust me. I went live the day that I got home and I went on a little rant about how LA is just a scary place. People are super fake to each other, people change out there, people do a lot out there, and I briefly mentioned that people also sell their souls and play with the devil out there, which is a very true thing, it's a known thing. And a lot of people felt like this was targeted towards Sty and Laura because they were still in LA. I had just left LA. I 100% see how that looks, and I take full accountability for going live and not, you know, like specifying, not putting a name on it essentially. And I was really just speaking on how I am such a real person and I don't do the fake shit. If I have a problem with someone or someone I feel has a problem with me, I'm not going to sit in that person's face and collab with them, make videos with them, hang out with them, literally nothing. I'm not that type of bitch. And so I was just, my mom and I were talking about that and how people prioritize content over their actual feelings, and how once you start to prioritize the content and the money making over how you truly feel, that's when you begin to lose yourself and you begin to go insane. The next thing I had to go home, and like I said, you will understand at the end of this, but I will also like to say that as soon as people started saying, oh, you're talking about Sty with the whole selling his soul thing, I immediately got on live and cleared that rumor up, and here's the clip of that. So you're just not gonna address your fans saying Sty sold his soul? I never said Sty sold his soul. Girl, Sty did not sell his soul. I never said that. Now I have gone live, now that I've been home, and people are saying that Sty sold his soul, and that is not what I want. I did not want people to think that Sty sold his soul. Obviously, Sty did not sell his soul. That's not what's going on. But when people started to speculate that, I immediately nipped that in the butt, and I take accountability because I can 100% see how that can come off. Next up, I just want to really specify that none of this falling out, or not even falling out, or not being friends anymore, or anything has anything to do with the way we treated each other during our friendship with me or Sty or me and Lord. We have never ever had an argument ever before this. Like, this is our first ever real issue inside of our friend group or to each other or anything. Me and Sty have always been super good friends to each other. He is literally one of the nicest people that I knew whenever I knew him, and we like clicked. Obviously, we got along. That was my best friend. We were cool as hell. Lord is the same. I always give thanks to both of them. They were both some of the most supportive people in my life and were very great friends to me for the time being while we were friends. I have absolutely no complaints while we were friends, so don't think that they were just like, you know, weird from the start, because I genuinely don't think that they were weird from the start. Now, I also want to say that this isn't a video to spread any kind of hate or anything. Y'all know I don't really tolerate hate. I don't like hate for anyone. I don't like hate on myself Why the hell would I want it on anyone else? The only reason I'm making this video is to clear my name up because I don't believe in things up for debate. I just don't like it. Like, you don't get to pick a side and everything when you don't know the full story. After you finish this video, you can pick a side. But for now, just listen. Now back to the LA live when I started talking about LA and how it's a scary place. Me, Lord, and Sty always talked about how LA was a scary place. We talked about how influencers were fake out there. We always talked about how I've talked about how LA's a scary place and evil for years. I've always thought that about that. So I also feel like they shouldn't have felt targeted because I'm not talking about y'all. We literally talk about that shit together. But like I said, I see how it comes off. I see both sides. I'm very good at putting myself in other people's shoes, and I understand how that come off. And once again, I apologize. Now let's get straight into the story. Let me take you guys back to whenever we first planned this LA trip with me, Sty, and Lord. Usually, whenever me, Sty, and Lord travel, we like to stay in our same Airbnbs. We get like 3 bedrooms, or last time we went to LA, we had 2 bedrooms. And usually that's just how it goes. We all stay together, we all fly together, whatever the case may be, we're just always together. This time, Lord wanted his own Airbnb, and me and Sty were staying together. And so Sty basically told me, like, before we were booking the trip or planning the trip or anything, he was like, you're not allowed to have any boys over at the house. Like, you shouldn't have any guys over at the house because you just can't have any guys over. And me being like, I'm caught off guard because I don't understand why you're saying this to me. Whenever we travel places, I do see guys. Like, often whenever we link places, I see guys. Whenever we're in New York, I was seeing guys. He also sees guys sometimes whenever we travel. Not every time that we travel, but sometimes he sees guys. I think it's a normal thing to have times like, girl, we're both traveling, we're both young, we're both doing our thing, we both entertain guys. Like, so that's just the whole thing in itself. Because I don't believe that really anything should have anything to do with guys. And if you're ever uncomfortable about me linking with guys or me hanging out with guys or anything, you should say that, like 100%. But at this point, he's just telling me I'm not allowed to link with guys, and I'm confused. I'm like, why are we setting rules on me when we're both paying for this Airbnb? I don't feel like there should be rules on me, especially with no explanation. All you're saying is I can't have guys over, and I'm not comprehending why. And I'll take accountability for his reasoning to that later in this video. This honestly made me feel some type of way, and this was a couple weeks before the trip was planned, like I said. And so leading up to the trip, I kind of just was like, I don't know, stuff just kind of didn't really feel the same with me and him. Like, whenever we wouldn't talk as much, and it's like, sure, we're busy and stuff, but I don't know, you never just have that gut feeling. I just had that gut feeling that, like, I don't know, I just felt like he didn't, like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, he did not want me on the trip or anything. Obviously, we planned it together, we booked it together, but I just kind of felt like, damn, like, why does shit feel a little bit different? Because I'm feel like, why are you trying to put rules on me is what I'm saying. And I felt different, and I feel like any normal person, without an explanation, if your friend's telling you that you can't do this when y'all both pay for Airbnb, I feel like rightfully so, you'd feel some type of way. But I just kept this to myself because I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But I did plan on initially having a conversation about it when I first got to LA on Thursday, so that we could like actually talk about like why I can't have boys over, or if we're allowed to, because girl, it's Halloween weekend. He has a man that he sees in LA. He also met another man while he was in LA. And while he was in LA a week before I was, he had the guys that he was talking to, like it was 2 guys that he was talking to, and not saying that he did stuff with them while they were there or whatever, but they were there essentially. He had those 2 boys at the house at some point while I wasn't there or whatever. And also the day that I pulled up to the house on Thursday, his like man or whatever is walking out of the house as I'm pulling into the garage with my friend Evan. Now, my friend Evan is my friend from LA, and we're cool. We hung out last time that I was in LA, and we went to Six Flags together, me, him, and Sty. Evan is like literally like a sister of mine. Like, it's none of that. Like, he's just a gay friend of mine, or he's bi, but he's a friend of mine, and we're like sisters. There's nothing like that. But at this point, I'm just kind of getting a little bit upset because I'm like, you're telling me I can't have guys over, and you're trying to implement these rules on me that you don't seem to be following yourself. You're over here having guys over no matter what the circumstances, no matter how many other people were there, no matter what y'all just got back from. You told me no guys were allowed in the house. Why would you try to set rules on me that you're not going to follow yourself, no matter what the case is? And mind you, I still don't know even why you don't want me to have guys over. Now, while I was not in LA and Sty was in LA, he would call me and tell me like about the boys or whatever. But not gonna lie, every time that I've been calling Sty recently and talk about a boy, he has not cared, which again, I understand, and I'll explain that later, but he just did not really have any regard for me talking about boys. And whenever he was telling me about boys, I'm sitting here thinking about how you're having boys in the house and I'm not allowed to. But I still don't know why you're implementing these rules on me. But even though he was calling me while he was in LA telling me about this, I'm still listening as a best friend should. I'm being an active listener. I'm giving advice on what was going on. Now, what was going on with him and the boys, obviously not anyone's business. But like when stuff would be happening, like I would sit there and listen to him and hear him out and help him and stuff. And he's like, damn, Chris, I sound like you. And I'm like, yeah, you do. And I'm like thinking, I'm like, damn, I honestly feel like if it was me talking to you about boys, like you wouldn't even have cared to listen. But I'm still sitting here listening. And on top of that, you're telling me a story about a boy that was in your house that in our Airbnb last night that you said I couldn't have guys over to. So obviously I'm feeling some kind of way. I feel like if you're ever uncomfortable with a friendship, relationship, anything, and you have any kind of issue, you have to address that shit right then and there. Me and Sty, we travel a lot. We talk every day. It's very easy to get tired of each other. Anything, we always have to communicate whenever there's an issue. And that's something that I do, which is why I plan on having a talk with him once I arrived in LA. But I honestly didn't want to have the conversation in front of anyone else. I didn't think it was anyone else's business because that's between me and Sty. B, I didn't want him to think that I was upset with him or trying to start an argument or anything. And C, I just want to talk it out. Like, I feel like if we just have a simple conversation, you can explain to me why, you feel this way about me having guys over, and we can have a conversation about it. It can be over. These are the pointers that I wanted to point out. Now let me actually get into the full story of me being in LA. So I landed there Thursday. Evan picked me up from the airport and we rode around, went to Chick-fil-A, and then he took me to me and Sty's Airbnb where me and Sty obviously met. And like I said, the boy was walking out of me and Sty's Airbnb when he got there. So when I'm pulling up, I'm like, wait, what the hell? Like, you're having guys at the B&B that I'm not allowed to have guys at. So when I walk in, I'm with Evan and he's like, hey Evan, like da 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 da. And he's like, hey Chris, whatever. And I low-key wanted to go out, but we didn't end up making it outside, whatever. Thursday night was pretty chill. Friday morning we ordered some breakfast. Everything was cool. We had some IHOP. Like the vibes were never like weird. Like I just always plan on having a conversation with him. But like I said, I wanted it to be in private, and every single time that I was thinking about it or whatever, there was always someone else there, because obviously we're hanging out with our friends, we're also doing our own thing out there. But Friday is whenever, like, I guess the little pieces started happening. So let me address what everyone swears to God I'm so mad about not being invited to Dows's party. We all know Dows had a party. Dows had a makeup launch party back in July, which he invited me, Sty, and Lord to. Me and Sty are a known trio on the internet, so I feel like, he invited us three, and we had a good time there. Everything was cool. And then about a month or two ago, Dows had another thing for his clothing brand, which he invited Sty and Lord. But not that I felt a type of way, but I'm just saying, like, I was not invited to the clothing brand thing, and people were talking about that, including me, Sty, and Lord. We were like, wait, because whenever it happened, like whenever Sty got the invite, me were texting in our group chat and we're like, wait, like, Chris, did you get the invite too? And I was like, oh no, I didn't. Like, and then we're like, oh, okay, whatever. But we didn't think much of it. Like, it's not that serious to not put me in your clothing brand thing, whatever, cool. We move on, and then we get to Dows's Halloween party. And he sent Sty the invite, he sent Lord the invite, and again, the group chat's like, Chris, did you get the invite? And I'm like, no, I didn't get invited. So now we're like, whoa, like, what the hell? This isn't the first time. And we're also, like I said, a known trio. And on the list, there's like no plus ones, like a close friends only party. And I'm like, close friends party. Like, I understand Lord and Dows have known each other. The Lord known Dows before he knew me. So that's his own thing. But Sty is my best friend. And so, not gonna lie, I personally, if Sty was not invited somewhere, I would not go there. Like 110%. I feel like if it was Lord who wasn't invited, me and Sty wouldn't have gone. I feel like if it was Sty who was invited, me and Lord wouldn't have gone to the party. And not that I felt like, oh my God, I'm so mad that you went to the party, but this is just like a factor that kind of just led up to like me being fed up essentially, or me just like, having enough of LA. Because it's like, we have acknowledged multiple times that I was being quote unquote singled out or whatever. And like I said, Dows has reached out to me since that situation, and we already like have figured out that maybe it wasn't me being singled out and it wasn't no weird shit. But for the time being, it looked like I was being singled out and I was being left out of these things. And so when I'm spending my Friday, spending the whole day with Lord and Sty getting ready for this party that I'm not invited to, I'm just like, damn. Like, I'm not saying anything though, because like I said, I don't want to make this a big deal. Go have fun at your party. I just personally would have done differently, and that's why I'm like, damn, but I'm not going to say anything because I don't think it's an issue. Now let's fast forward to Friday. You guys remember Patrick Starr, whenever we first met him back in July, Patrick Starr, and we all talked about us doing Halloween looks. We were supposed to turn me into Victoria's Secret Angel. Me and Patrick have been texting about it. But closer to October, me, Sty, and Lord were reaching out to Patrick, and it was like, this isn't anything negative about Patrick, by the way. Like, I'm just saying, it was just given like, okay, we're not really finna be dressed up or get our makeup done by Patrick. Like, it's not really given that it's gonna happen. And so Lord was like, okay, whatever, I'll do my own thing. I'll do my own photo shoot. And he went and did his own photo shoot, the Maleficent look and stuff. And then I was like, low-key still trying with Patrick, because I'm like, me and Patrick were still texting. And he asked for my dates and stuff like that, but never got back to me. And that's his own thing. So me, Sty, and Lord were like, damn, I guess, you know, Patrick isn't gonna do our makeup looks or anything. So Friday morning, me and Lord, we're on Rodeo, we're shopping, we're just chilling, walking around. And then we think like, where's Sty? So we call Sty, and Sty was like, oh, I'm at Patrick Star's studio, like getting my makeup done. And Patrick Star was doing his makeup. And so me and Lord were like, wait, what the hell? Like, I thought he wasn't gonna do any of our makeup. So I walk into Patrick's studio, and as I walk in, Sty's sitting on the makeup chair, and Patrick is obviously behind the makeup chair doing his makeup. And Patrick goes, Sty was telling me about a guest you had last night. And I was like, a guest? And Patrick is like, a boy. And I was like, who? And Sty turned, he was like, Evan. And then he started laughing. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, Evan is just my friend. Like it was nothing like that. And mind you, this was said to be a joke. Like, yes, 100% it could be a joke, but I didn't personally take it as a joke in that moment. But I didn't think anything of it. I was like, okay, whatever. I had a seat on the couch. I minded my business. About 5 minutes later, Lord got up, went to the bathroom, and texted me and said, no shade, that was weird what Sty said, laughed my ass off. I said, which thing, the guest thing? Lord said, yeah, I laughed my ass off. I said, yeah. So now I'm like, damn, like, okay, I'm just feeling like there's like tension between us or something. Like, I'm just getting like, we gotta talk, like for real. Like we gotta talk about like the boy stuff, how I'm feeling about that, because I need to talk to you. So I plan on talking to Sty whenever I got back to Lord's Airbnb before they were going to the party. So Lord ended up getting an Uber because he had to get his makeup done at 6 o'clock for the party that night. And I rode back with Lord. It was like an hour-long ride. And I was like talking to Lord about that situation. I was like, Lord, I'm not gonna lie, like, I don't know if you see it, but I feel like me and Sty just aren't the same right now. Like, I feel like we really need to talk whenever we get home. So whenever we get back, could you please like go take a shower or like go in the bathroom or something so I can talk to Sty, me and him, like just one-on-one. And Lord agreed with everything I was saying. He agreed with how I felt. And he was like, yeah, like, why is he trying to put a rule on you whenever he's not following it? And I was like, I feel the same way, because I didn't understand where this was coming from. And Lord was like, yeah, I got you. Like, y'all need to have a conversation. Like, well, y'all can talk about it whenever y'all get back to my B&B. Cool. So Sty ended up getting back to the Airbnb, but Lord's makeup artist beat him there. And like I said, this is conversation between me and him, nobody else. So I was like, I don't really want to talk about it in front of the makeup artist. Like, obviously, it's a conversation that we could probably have in front of Lord, and that's about it. So maybe Lord can help us out, see both sides, whatever. But I feel like the makeup artist girl obviously was none of her business. So I postponed the conversation, and I was like, you know what, we'll talk about this shit tomorrow. They went off to the party, and I went out to WeHo with Evan. WeHo is West Hollywood. It's like the gay club strip of LA. It's like where all the gay people go. They club, they party, everything. Everything's 21 plus, and yeah. So they went to the party, and then after the party, they left, and they came to WeHo with me and Evan. So now it's me, Sty, Lord, and Evan, and we're at WeHo, and we had fun. It was cool. And then whenever we were leaving WeHo, while we were at WeHo, I think this was my first time ever meeting Pablo, Drew, and I forgot if Oscar, I think Oscar was there as well, but those three, because they had also been hanging out with Sty since like he'd been there, and I never met them before, I never got to meet them, and so I was excited to meet them, because I'm like, you know, like, let me see what's tea with the LA squad, like, whatever. So I met them out there, everything was cool, and then I think it was time for us to go back, because the clubs is closed and everything, so now it's time to go back, and we're trying to have an afters at Lord's Airbnb. So whenever we go back to Lord's Airbnb, Sty was like, oh, I'm just gonna ride with Pablo and Oscar. And me and Lord look at each other, we're like, well, damn, like, we're your best friends. Like, girl, you don't wanna ride with us? But not even saying that that was an issue. Like I said, I'm just counting in all the small things that led up to me leaving, okay? And so that was like, damn, like, are you here for them or us? Like, we're your day ones. Like, you don't wanna ride home with us? Like, what the hell? And so, mind y'all, I didn't really feel as strongly about this as Lord did. So I'm about to get into that whole thing in a little bit, but Lord was dead ass. Like, when Lord gets drunk, Lord feels strongly about certain things. But Lord will not say these things whenever he's sober. He will only say these things whenever he is drunk. So he'll say shit like, why is Sty with them? Like, not with us. Like, what the fuck? Like, he's like, no, I don't care. He can go with them. Like, that's weird. And I'm like, no, Lord, like, it's okay, whatever. And we end up going home, and it was a normal night. Like, whenever we go back to the Airbnb, the vibes were chill. Me and Sty and Evan were in Lord's room. We were all chilling. Everything was good. We're laughing, talking, no weird vibes at all. Evan spent the night with Sty at Lord's Airbnb, and I think I went back to our Airbnb because it was like 7 a.m. and I went back to our Airbnb. Sty and Evan had already fell asleep in Lord's bed, and Lord was there with two of his other friends. So now I had went home, and one of the other friends was the plug, by the way, the plug or whatever. So then at this point I went home, and it was like 7 a.m. and at like 11 a.m. Evan and Sty, they came home to our Airbnb. Wait, hold on, let me also put this into perspective. Me and Sty's Airbnb was like 5 minutes away from me and Lord's Airbnb, so it was nothing to just go home real quick. And so they came back to me and Sty's Airbnb in the morning. Evan and Sty walk in my room, they wake me up, we go to IHOP. And while we're at IHOP, it's now Saturday morning, and I'm low-key like, damn, I haven't posted in a minute. I just got back from Fiji. I promised all this LA content and everything. So I'm like, I really planned on filming the first night that we got there. But whenever we got there, we didn't get to film or nothing because everyone was doing their own thing. And Friday, we didn't get to film either. And Saturday, I was just like, damn, like, I want to do something. Like, can we do like a quick Twitch stream or something? Like, I just feel like I need to feed the girls because they want content from the three of us because we haven't seen each other in a minute. I want to film something. I'm a film ass bitch. I like to work. I'm here for work. I'm in LA to film our videos. Like, that's what I'm primarily here for. But when we were at IHOP, I told Sty about this. And not that this is important or anything, but I'm just emphasizing the fact that we are out there to work. Sty was like, oh, like, you know, you don't have to really post as much. Like, it's okay. Like, girl, we can post like once a week, like, and just post a long video. Like, it's okay. And I'm sitting here like, okay, like, sure, whatever. But then I'm like sitting here like, damn, like, I really didn't get anything done. All we've been doing is partying and drinking and clubbing. And not that I'm blaming the partying, drinking, clubbing on them, because, girl, I do my own partying, drinking, clubbing without them, obviously. But I'm just saying, like, we went to LA and, girl, we're not even getting nothing done. So I'm like, also, like, okay, I'm feeling behind here. Like, I came here to work. Why am I not working? That's how I'm feeling. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like stressing the fact that we need to work, and no one really cares because everyone's doing their own thing, everyone's having fun, and they're worried about having fun, which is like, sure, you can have your fun. I'm not upset with you for not wanting to film or not giving a damn about filming as much as I did, but that's just another reason to why I'm like, okay, what am I really doing here? I'm not even getting shit done anyways. Like, I didn't even get one video done, and I was there for like 3-4 days. Then Saturday, we spent the day, I think this was this was Saturday. We were going around, went to Dolls Kill, we didn't go to Spirit Halloween, but we were just Halloween costume shopping, just me, Sty, and Evan. And Lord spent the day with his siblings. Now, these aren't his real siblings, they're like his friends. I think one of the gay boys' name is Drew. The girl, I did forget her name, but they're just his two people that he calls his siblings. And they drove, I think, from 2 hours away to go spend the day with Lord. So Lord went and spent the day with them, and because he had his own Airbnb anyway, so he spent the day with them. I spent the day with Sty, and I spent the day with Evan as well. So we're doing our own separate days or whatever. This is Saturday, by the way, and everything was good. And then it gets to about nighttime. It's time to go to the club, and we're like, okay, let's go pregame. And we have a friend named Eddie. Eddie he lives in LA. He knows all of us. Like, we're cool with him. I never met him in real life before, but we're like, okay, let's go pregame at Eddie's house. So it's me, Sty, Lord, Evan, and Lord's two siblings, his friends or whatever. So we all pull up to Eddie's Airbnb, and Eddie is with his best friend or friend Christian, and it's all of us, and we're sitting there pregaming. The vibes are up, the vibes are cool, whatever. We end up going to WeHo, and we're having fun until I randomly am like, wait, where the hell is Sty? And I check his location, and I go to his location. He's on the side of the club crying and upset because the man that was walking out of our Airbnb when I got there, that same man had just like basically cut things off with him. And although I have been feeling my fair share of ways or whatever, and we haven't had a chance to have a conversation, but regardless of any way that I was feeling or anything like that, I was obviously still there for my best friend because that's what best friends do. Now, at the same time, Lord had just lost his phone, or it got stolen while we were at WeHo. WeHo's notorious for getting your phone stolen. Evan had also got his phone the night before. So as Sty is crying, me and Evan are on his side. Me and Evan are helping him out, but Lord is worried about his stolen phone, obviously. So Lord comes over to Sty, and I kid you guys not, he literally is like, Sty, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear about you crying about some dumbass boy. I just got my phone stolen. I don't care about none of this shit. Like, you can really shut up. And he was like literally saying shit like, I'll slap you in the face right now. Like, get your shit together. You're embarrassing us. Come on. Like, you're embarrassing us in front of Eddie and them, and you need to get your shit together. Let's go. And Sty's like crying, but then he's like, okay, like, I'll stop. Like, he's listening to Lord. Like, he's not having any disrespect or anything back towards Lord. And please keep that in mind because I don't know where the fuck the disrespect for me came in at. So then, mind you guys, like I said, WeHo is a very 21 plus place. this. So at this point, Sty is just crying, and we're all me and Evan are trying to help him out. And they went into this club, and I forgot what the club's name was, but it had like booths on the outside, so I couldn't get in, mind y'all. I'm not 21 years old. I can't get into every single club out there. It's not the easiest thing to do. So I can't go in and help Lord look for his phone or nothing like that. So I'm sitting there just helping Sty out. I'm comforting him and everything. Lord literally is just going off about how the attention's not on him. No one's worried about his phone. Everyone's worried about Sty crying and how no one should care about Sty crying and this and that and third. He's saying this all to Sty's face too, and Sty does not give a damn. Like, Sty's not having any type of attitude. Sty's like, okay, Lord, whatever, like, I'm listening to you, whatever. So then Saturday night, we go back to Lord. This is the night where me and Lord, this is Saturday night. Me, Lord, his two siblings, and Evan, us five, we all went back to Lord's Airbnb because we wanted to have afters there just like we did the night before, because the night before it was fun, it was cool, whatever. But the point is, at this point, it's at least me, Lord, his two siblings, and Evan. And we were like trying to have the afters there. Eddie was trying to have the afters at his house. Eddie had invited two of his other friends, Madison and Anya, and then I think other people. And then at this point, we're also trying to have the plug come. So, you know, at some point in the night, the plug gets there, and then Eddie's like, okay, y'all need to come here, whatever. But Eddie said that they're getting noise complaints over there, and he was like, just bring three of y'all, like, whatever. And I was like, okay, obviously me, obviously Lord, because we know him. And I'm like, Evan, let's go. Because Lord's siblings are there. They can spend the night there. They have a car. They can drive home if they need to, whatever. Mind you guys, Evan does not have a phone. So this is where this part is coming in at or whatever. The plug ended up arriving, and everyone was like, okay, bring you, Lord. And then the plug was like, let's just go us three, like, whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. So I go to Evan and I'm like, is it okay if just us three go? Like, are you okay with being here? Because I know you spent the night here last night, so you're not unfamiliar with the place. Like, you know where you are. We're 5 minutes away from Airbnb. Do you want me to Uber you back home? I told Evan, I said, I think we are going to come back. But in the case that we don't, are you okay with being here? Evan said yes. He agreed to it. Whatever. Cool. Me, Lord, and the plug end up going to Eddie's house. And I just remember Sty was crying and shit was just getting like even louder, and he was getting more noise complaints. And at this point, Eddie was just trying to get everyone out of the house. And this girl, Madison or whatever, was like talking about, I guess people were talking about Sty crying at the club or whatever. And then I just overheard some girl, I think Anya and Madison were there, and people were talking about how Sty was crying. I heard the girls talk about it. Or the girl talk about it, and then the plug was like, why is he crying? Like, why is he trying to ruin the vibe, whatever the hell? And I was like, oh, hell no, like, this is weird, Sty, like, let's go, let's get you out of here. So I go up to Sty, and I'm like, we're leaving. Like, I'm gonna get us an Uber home. I don't care about staying here. Me and you, we are going home. People are being weird towards you crying. I don't like it. You're not okay. Why are we at an after? So I said, Sty, let's go home. I bought me and Sty an Uber, and when I was walking him out to the car, he was like, no, like, Chris, just please let me go by myself. Like, I don't want you to not have fun. Like, go have your fun. I don't want to be like the ruiner of the night. Just go do your thing. I said, are you sure? Because we're only 5 minutes away. And at this point, Sty had sobered up. So he knew how to get in the house by himself. And he was just ultimately not having the best night. And so I was like, you know what? I completely understand that. You can go ahead and go home. And I texted him and I said, let me know you're okay. I love you. Just take this as time for yourself and don't worry. Nobody's seriously upset with you. We'll talk about it tomorrow, but just get some rest. We love you. That's what I said. After putting him in the Uber, I just wanted to make sure he was okay. And, you know, whatever. Because low-key, I feel like, especially Lord was being overly like, bitch, stop, bitch, shut up. Like, I don't care, this and that. And I'm just like, damn, like, now we all three got to have a talk in the morning because shit last night was just not, Saturday night just really did not go as planned, and everything was going left, and it was like people were talking to each other crazy, like, what's going on? Like, at this point, it's not a conversation between you and I, because Lord is obviously feeling a certain way about whatever he feels a way about. So I'm like, okay, we all three gotta have a talk. Yes, I'm at brunch editing this video. I don't give a damn. I need to get this out ASAP. But I forgot to add in this part that this night that Lord was also telling Sty, shut up, he doesn't care, everything. He was also saying things like, Sty told me that he wants to replace you with Dow's, and he was saying, oh, I didn't really want to bring Sty to the movie premiere, and I wish you were there. And now Lord is on live telling, well, not on live, but Lord told Sty that I was mad that Sty went to the movie premiere as Lord's plus one instead of me. Why would I be upset when I was in Fiji? I couldn't have even gone to the movie premiere. I'm not tripping over that, and I literally was happy for you about that. Why would I ever be jealous of my own friend's accomplishments? That just doesn't make any sense to me. And it's like, so you went from telling me one thing, and now you're telling Sty another thing since we fell out. If you were really his friend, you would have told him that right then and there, not now that we fell out. That doesn't make any sense. It's giving last night. You went on live, you got too bold, you got too drunk, and now you have to back up the shit that you said. And by backing it up, you have to make up lies and exaggerate things so that your story sounds more reasonable. And it's not flying over here, so yeah. Okay, so I wake up Sunday morning, and this is the final day that I'm in LA, so we're pretty much near the end of the story. So I wake up Sunday morning, and this is when everything was like went down or whatever. So Sunday I woke up and Sty was already gone, and I checked his location and he was like driving out, and I was like, what the hell? So I called him, no answer. He was on Do Not Disturb, which I did not know at the time, but the point is he didn't answer. He didn't reply to my text from last night. I'm concerned about my friend. He was drunk crying last night. His man stopped talking to him, whatever, and even our close friend was telling him he didn't care and to shut up and everything. So when we wake up in the morning, I'm trying to tell Sty the things that, like, I'm trying to wake up Sty about basically Lord saying this and that about Sty. Because mind y'all, me and Sty were a duo before him and Lord were a trio. And that night, whenever me and Lord were back at Eddie's, Lord was, I don't know if Lord remembers this, but Lord was drunk. And he was saying things like, oh, Sty, oh, I don't care about Sty. Like, he's just crying because his dumbass man, and I don't care about that. And then Lord tried to basically come at me and was like, I feel like you chose a side, and I feel like you were only worried about Sty because he was crying and you didn't care about my phone. And I'm like, Lord, I couldn't even have gotten to that club. And the whole time that Lord lost his phone, he was also saying shit like, it's okay, I'll buy another one, like, I don't care. And Lord was not giving that he cared. Sty's literally in tears crying, and this is also my best friend. I'm going to be there for Sty, and you also have people helping you look for your phone. You know what I mean? And I couldn't even get in that club anyways. So Laura's trying to tell me this, and I'm like, no, like, babe, like, we all got to talk tomorrow, whatever. And Laura's like, okay, whatever, we'll all talk about it. And so Sunday, whenever that happened, I woke up that day at like 1 p.m. and Lord called me and was like, my siblings left stuff at Eddie's. We're going to come pick you up, and we're going to go to Eddie's so that my siblings can get their stuff and they can head out and go home. Now, I had 5 minutes to get ready, remember, because they only live 5 minutes away. I woke up, I put on my regular t-shirt, put on some regular shorts, my regular slides. I did not put on any earrings. I did my head in the sink, brushed my teeth, washed my face, and I went out the door. I didn't put any product in my hair. Like, my hair was not done the way it usually is. I didn't have any jewelry on. I didn't have an outfit on. I had my slides on. I was prepared to go straight to Eddie's and then come back to my Airbnb after and change for the day or whatever the case was. But whenever we got to Eddie's Airbnb, they were still up lit from the night before, and they were still having the time of their life. So I was like, you know what? Let's just spend the day here. But I did not spend the day with anyone who was being weird towards Sty crying. The people that were weird towards Sty crying was a girl that left the night before and the plug. And Sty saying that didn't make sense, but that is truly just what it was. If it doesn't make sense, I apologize for that, but that is truly what it was. And I spent the day over there, and it was me, Lord, Eddie, and Christian, and Anya. There's 5 of us now. And Anya is Eddie's girl best friend and whatever, so we're all spending the day together. We're all laying down. We're just taking a movie day. Like, we're watching movies on the couch. Everything's chill. I won't lie, I was laid up with Christian. Me and Christian did not kiss, though. Me and Christian did not fuck. I did not suck his dick. Did not eat my ass. Like, literally nothing. Like, simple as that. Me and Christian were just laid on each other. Like, that was it. It was on some, like, cuddly, but we're also in front of all these people. We did not do anything. We didn't have intents on doing anything. If we wanted to do something, we had the alone time to get it done. So nothing about this was for a man or for some dick or nothing. Keep in mind how I also said it's Sunday night and I was not ready at all, and I had no intentions of even staying over there that whole day, but it was a vibe over there. So we stayed over there, and eventually Sty called me back while we were all chilling, and he's FaceTiming me. So when he's FaceTiming me, I'm answering, and Christian is right next to me. Now, nothing was about Christian, like I said, but just keep in mind that Sty is seeing me next to Christian. So Sty's like asking, he's like, are you guys gonna come out? And I'm like, Sty, like, not gonna lie, like, we gotta talk, like, the 3 of us, like, me, you, and Lord. And he's like, okay, like, what do we gotta talk about? And I'm like, no, like, we'll talk about it later. And Sty was like, I guess not taking me seriously because Sty said that he didn't take me seriously because of the boy. Whatever, he said that, he didn't take me seriously. He was like, we'll talk about it tomorrow, whatever, cool. I was like, well, damn, okay, I guess we will talk about it tomorrow. And I kept pushing, I kept minding my business. And then we went to the movies, had a good time at the movies. And at this point, bitch, I've watched movies all day. I've been chilling all day. I'm not in any type of going out clothes. I don't want to go out. It's Sunday night. And Sty's like, are you guys coming out? Are you guys coming out? And I'm low-key giving the vibe of like, I don't want to go. Mind you, it's okay to not want to go out, by the way. Like, it's not illegal to want to go out. So I didn't want to go out multiple times that we didn't want to go out. Lord didn't want to go out multiple times. We didn't go out. I didn't want to go out. We don't have to go out. It's not that serious. Sty was also with Evan, Pablo, Oscar, and Drew. He was with all his people. So it's like you're going out anyways. And whenever we got back to the Airbnb, not to Airbnb, we went back to Eddie's apartment, which is like about 10 minutes from WeHo and 5 minutes away from all of our Airbnbs. Like I said, everything was 5 minutes away from each other. And so Lord was like, Chris, I want to go to WeHo. Can you Uber me to WeHo? Lord did not have his phone, which is why he asked me to Uber him to WeHo. And I was like, you want to go get my second phone? Like, it's at me and Sty's Airbnb. You can go there real quick. I can get you like the Uber stop thing, and then you can go there. But not gonna lie, I don't want to go out. Lord was like, I don't care. Just give me the Uber. I'll find Sty myself. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, whatever. I got Lord his Uber. We're only 10 minutes away. Lord is sober. Emphasis on Lord was sober. We were all sober, okay? And it's probably like 12 a.m. And so I get Lord his Uber to the club. Lord's 22 years old. Lord has gone out without me. Lord has gone out by himself. If Lord is a 22-year-old man telling me, can you please Uber me here? And I offer him the phone and he's like, no, I don't care. I'll find them myself. Uber me there. I think Lord is more than capable of finding Sty himself. It's not that hard. You know which clubs we'd be in. I Ubered him straight to beaches. I told him where Sty was exactly whenever I Ubered him, and I sent him on his way. Then I'm laying on the couch chilling. At this point, Anya had left. Now it's just me, Eddie, and Christian, and we're just chilling on the couch watching more movies. And as we're chilling, I get a call from Sty. It's probably like 1 a.m. now. It's probably been like an hour since I sent Lord on his way. I pick up the phone, and Sty's like, bitch, are you fucking dumb? Why the fuck would you send Lord to WeHo with no type of phone and no type of way to contact us and nothing this and none of that? You're like, whatever. And I had to take a step back from the phone because I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are you talking to me this crazy? Like, I understand that you might be drunk, you might be at the club, you might be having fun, but no matter what the issue is, I feel like you don't talk to your friends that way, especially your best friend. I feel like you don't ever get like loud or cuss or disrespectful with your best friend. I don't talk to any of my friends that way, no matter if we're in an argument, if we're not in a good place. That is not a way to speak to your friend, no matter what is in your system, no matter how you are feeling, that is not how you speak to your friend. Mind you guys, I hear Lord in the back literally having a good time, not even giving a damn. So I'm sitting here like, wait, if the person who should be upset, if anything, isn't upset with me, why are you? And why are you taking it out on me so like terribly? And I'm sitting here like, what the hell? And then Sty hung up in my face. Then I called back and I'm like, why do you have an attitude? And he's like, because you left Lord and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, no, I didn't leave Lord. Like, and I'm sitting here talking, like he's yelling, I'm talking in the same tone I'm talking to you guys in. And I'm sitting here like, no, like, I did not send him there without, like, it wasn't like that. Like, Lord wanted to go there, and I told Lord, like, you can go get my phone. He said, no, I want to go straight to WeHo. We acknowledged the fact that I had a second phone. That was dismissed. He proceeded to want to go to WeHo. He was sober. Now, if he was drunk, that is a completely different story. That is some weird shit. I should have gotten that car with him, or I should have never called him the car. I would never call my drunk friend an Uber to go somewhere alone. So let's delete the narrative that he's anywhere near drunk. He was sober. So with this being said, when I called back and he had more attitude, I was like, whatever, hung up in my face again. And at this point, I'm just like, what the hell? Like, why are you having so much anger towards me? I never talked to you that way. I never would talk to you that way, no matter what the situation is. And mind you, you're yelling me at something that has quite literally nothing to do with you, especially when the person is not even upset with me. So then I'm chilling, and then like 2 hours later, probably around like more close to 3 a.m., Sty calls me and he's like, we're on the way back because Lord has to get his stuff. Now I think it's Sty, Lord, Evan, and I think Pablo was there as well. I think Drew was also there. I think Pablo was there. I don't remember if the other boy Oscar was there. But he was with those group of people. So he's like, we have to come get Lord's stuff. And I'm like, okay. He's like, can Eddie buzz us in? I'm like, I think Eddie fell asleep. Because at this point, Eddie went back downstairs and me and Christian are just on the couch watching a movie. Mind you guys, me and Christian are on the couch watching a movie for like an hour. If we wanted to do something, we would have done it. If I had plans on doing something with him, we literally would have done it. Okay, like simple as that. Like at this point though, Eddie was asleep downstairs. Eddie's room is like right whenever you walk into his apartment. And so he was downstairs sleeping, and I told Sty, I was like, no, I think Eddie's sleeping, like, I can come open the door myself. But he was like, no, like, you can't, like, have Eddie buzz us. And it was just very much given, like, you didn't want me to come get the door. And I was like, I don't think it's that serious, like, whatever. So I just opened the door, but I'm already feeling, like, the tension. And I'm like, you just yelled at me for literally, like, I understand why you could be mad, 100%. Now, let me take accountability right now. I understand how he could be upset because Lord is at WeHo alone. I understand that WeHo is a dangerous place. I understand that you might be upset because of the way something looks or anything like that. But at the end of the day, I feel like no matter what the situation is, you don't talk to your friends like that. And so that was what my issue was. But I was like, you know what? You're drunk. I'm just going to ignore you. I'm not going to pay you any mind. So I go and I open the door and I get on my phone and I'm just walking in the hallway, just minding my business. And he's walking down with everybody else. And I open up the door and Christian is standing in Eddie's bedroom now. And I just go stand next to Christian in Eddie's bedroom. Eddie had woke up. Eddie's like, what the hell? Because Eddie's been getting noise complaints and shit. So obviously it's like, damn, now 6 people walk up in this hell. Like, I'm up. What's going on? And so I told Eddie, he's like, oh no, like, we're just in here to get Lord's stuff really quick. Like, will be done super quick. Like, don't worry about us, whatever. We're just getting our stuff. And so I'm sitting here on my phone, minding my business, and then I hear, do you want to talk right now or do you want to go outside? And I look up to my left and I'm like, me, you, and Lord? I'm like, are you ready to have the conversation now? And he's like, no, me and you. And he's like, matter of fact, come on. And he's like, let's go upstairs. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, where is all this energy for me coming from? Like, I have had none of this energy towards you ever in my life, no matter what the situation is. And I'm just so confused on what I did to you personally. Like, I can rightfully say I have done no wrong to Lord or Sty intentionally ever throughout our entire friendship. And up until this point, I don't think that they have either. But I can truthfully say I have never once wronged Sty, especially because you were my best friend. Everyone knows you're my best friend. Like, everyone who knows me, that's like my friend in real life, they all love you too. And it's just like, I would never ever disrespect you or make you feel like you're unwanted somewhere or just anything like that. I would never do something like that to you. And so he takes me upstairs and I sit on the couch and I'm like, what's going on? Like, talk to me. And Lord is on my left. Evan stayed downstairs. Drew is in the room. Christian is to my right, I believe, and Sty just starts going off on me again, and he's like screaming at me, cussing at me in front of all these people that, mind you, I just met. So now not only are you airing me out and being disrespectful to me, talking to me crazy, you're doing it in front of all these people. And I'm like sitting here like, damn, I had this regard for you because I don't want to have any type of conversation about our friendship in front of anyone, but you really come in here and just go off on me and let me have it in front of everyone and not have any type of regard for my feelings. And he just goes off and he's like, you left Lord at WeHo and da-da-da-da. And I'm sitting here talking like I am again because I'm just not the type, I cannot get disrespectful with someone that I literally call my best friend. Like, I'm not going to stand up and cuss you out and argue with you back, especially when I'm sober, you're drunk. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? But I also feel like no amount of alcohol in your system can make you just like that disrespectful to someone that you love. You know what I mean? Like, that's just insane to me. And so I'm just, talking and I'm like, no, like, Lord literally asked me to Uber him to WeHo, and everyone in the room is sitting there silent. No one is defending me. No one is sticking up for me. No one is de-escalating the situation. No one is saying, hey, maybe not here. Lord was literally the reason that Sty was even yelling at me, and he refused to speak up. And right then and there is when I really should have known whenever that was like that he was obviously not a friend of mine, like, for real. Because it's like, if it was y'all two arguing, if it was Sty and Laura arguing, I would have shut that shit down immediately, especially in front of these people. That's not anyone's business but y'all's. And I feel like I personally would have shut that shit down immediately, and that would have never happened. And then in the midst of him yelling at me about the whole Lord situation, he goes, and then you left Evan at Lord's Airbnb that one night, and Lord's weird ass siblings started touching on him. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, where did this even come from? I'm completely caught off guard because Evan is supposed to be my friend that I'm hanging out with, that I brought here. And Evan has not told me anything about him getting touched on by anybody. And I'm sitting here like, wait, how was I supposed to know that Evan was going to get touched on by leaving him at Lord's Airbnb or anything? And also, Evan agreed to stay at the Airbnb, and Evan has not said anything about this to me. So I'm sitting here blindsided as hell because you're coming at me on behalf of two people who are not coming at me at all and that have no issues with anything that I've done. And so I'm like, why are you coming at me for them? Why are we having an argument, or why are we about to have a fallout over people that are, one, not mad at me, but most importantly has nothing to do with you, nothing to do with our friendship specifically. So I'm like, why are we about to lose our friendship, or why are we about to argue or anything over some shit that got nothing to do with us? That don't make no sense to me. And so whenever he said this, I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, Evan literally said he was okay with staying there. So then Sty goes, Evan, come here. And Evan comes upstairs and he just stands there. And Sty just keeps going off and cussing at me and yelling in my face, and no one's saying anything. And I feel like Evan and Lord, y'all both were my friends. I feel like y'all definitely could have said something in that moment. They refused to. And that's when I was like, eye opener. Okay, got it. So anyway, Eddie comes upstairs because obviously he had just woke up, and he's like, okay, everyone needs to get the fuck out because I'm getting noise complaints again. Everyone gotta go. Everyone except Chris, go. So everyone kind of like goes out and everything, and I'm just sitting on the couch like, what the actual hell? It's probably like 3, almost 4 in the morning, and I'm sitting here just like actually what the hell's going on? Like, and mind you, no one checked on me. No one has said, are you okay? Like, all those people that were in that building have some type of way to contact me. And so I'm like, no one could ask me if I'm okay. No one could check up on me. Nothing. An hour went by. No one checked on me. No one gave a damn about how the fuck I felt. And I was just sitting there on Eddie's couch, and I'm just like, why would I stay here when it feels like there's small drama every single day that I'm here? There's this constant little thing that's like being said, or little things that are just bothering me or whatever. And this is basically like my breaking point. I was like, I am not going to stay somewhere where I am A, disrespected, B, my feelings are disregarded, and C, where no one else sticks up for me. I'm not staying anywhere where I don't feel like anyone's a 110% real ass bitch. Like, not at all. Especially when I'm at home in Houston, Texas, I have what? Nothing but a loving best friend, Ori. Y'all know I have my bitch Ori. I have Michaela. I have James. I have Nick. I have my sisters. I have my parents. I have my cat. Like, I have my own apartment, my own car. I am stress-free. When I'm in Houston, I am stress-free. My friends here are the realest bitches. None of them do the influencer shit. They don't, talk shit about people and then go sit in their face and collab with them or anything like that. They don't do that. I feel like I'm just a little too real for a lot of this industry shit, if I'm being honest with you guys. Like, that's really just how I was feeling. And for Sai to call it childish or immature that I left or whatever, I think it was the most mature thing I could do. I don't stay anywhere where I feel unwanted. That made me feel nothing but unwanted. And it's like, if I have the freedom to book me a flight home a week early from the trip so I can go home and live my life there and be happy, I'm 100% going to do that. Why would I spend the rest of the week partying with people who did not stand up for me, who cussed me out, aired me out in front of everybody in the room when I just met them, no matter what the situation is, when it didn't have anything to do with you? I'm like, why the hell would I say that? It doesn't make any sense to me. So absolutely, I packed my bags and I left. Whenever I was sitting at Airbnb, when I was sitting at Eddie's apartment, eventually it hit like 4:45 and I was like, fuck this. Like, my intuition was telling me book the next flight home. So I did exactly that. I went back to me and Sai's Airbnb. I walked in, went straight to my room. I did not slam the door. I did not have any attitude. I just walked in there straight faced and I shut the door. I got to packing all my stuff. And while I'm packing, I heard a whole bunch of people walk out. And then Sai went in his room. And by the time he went in his room, I just finished packing. And I was like, okay, I'm out this bitch. And so I got my Uber to the airport and I left. And I went home. And now let's get into what's been going on since I've been home. Whenever I got home, it was Monday at like around 4 p.m. I had just landed back in Houston, and Sai texted me and was like, I don't know why you left, but I told everyone you had to go because the Peppers already picked up your cat. If they didn't come, would have kept your cat if they didn't come pick it up by the end of today. You can go along with it if you want. That's a screenshot that I showed at the very beginning of this video. That's all he said to me. Not in, hey, are you okay? Call, text, nothing. What's going on? I feel like no matter what it was, if my best friend up and left me on a trip that we planned together and was like hurt enough to where he literally got up and left a week early, knowing damn well he paid for the Airbnb for another week, like, well, my share of the Airbnb for another week, I would definitely call and text and check up on him and see what's wrong. And the first thing I would have done was take an accountability and apologize. And that's all I wanted. I feel like if literally accountability could have been taken and an apology could have been issued with the promised change, I would have had zero issue at all. Now, let me get into this. So whenever, this was said Monday and I left Sunday night, and then Monday night was whenever I went live about the whole LA stuff, whatever, and Tuesday whenever all the rumors were going out about him, selling his soul and stuff, and Tuesday was also the same day that I shut that shit down. Now it got to Wednesday and I'm just like, what the hell's going on? Like, it's kind of eating me up inside because at the same time, this isn't like we're just like beefing for fun. No, this is literally my best friend. Like, I'm not talking to you. Like, that's weird. Like, what the fuck? So I text him a whole paragraph about how I feel. I'm telling him there's no point in me reading my paragraph because I told you guys everything in the way I feel. And that's basically what I said to him. I was being very honest. I told him about how I felt about the boys thing and everything. And Sty basically replied, and his response for the whole boy thing was that he said that I'm boy crazy and that whenever I link with boys on trips that it kills the vibe. Now, had you said this when we were first planning the trip, I could have immediately been like, you know what, Sty, I see where you're coming from, and you know what, I'm not gonna link with any guys on the trip, and I don't think we should either. Like, let's just have fun, let's just forget about boys, whatever, and if I ever do anything that bothers you, I want you to tell me. So, I read Sty's paragraph, but it was very much coming off abrasive and like passive aggressive because there was still like little cuss words in there and sort of like defending things, but I'm not even being like on any type of thing. I'm being very respectful, very diligent, everything. So I texted back, I said, I just finished reading, and while obviously some of the stuff you're saying I disagree and want to testify, but at the same time, a lot of what you said also makes sense. I think that we're both very obviously upset right now with each other, and I'm now more understanding of where you're coming from. I think we should just take a little break from each other so we can talk when you're back home or something. Let's revisit this conversation when we're both more at peace. I do apologize for the things you're upset about because I think both of our feelings are valid. We'll talk later. But most importantly, I just want you to know I didn't only leave because of that argument. It was more so because nobody had my back or checked on me after, and the past few days just felt like dumb drama too. Sai then replied, not gonna lie, I'm gonna be here till the 10th, and if we don't talk about it now, I'm sure not gonna want to talk about it in 2 weeks weeks from now. So now just lay it all out and tell me what you disagree with. Like I said, leaving was childish as fuck and you really nobody's problem but your own, but we would have had talked about it in the morning. Everything was fresh and I was still pissed, so when you came back, I didn't feel like talking in the moment. But that don't mean I wasn't gonna talk to you at all. Now, if I'm not tripping, this is coming off a little bit passive, and I'm like, whoa, like why are we still having this energy towards me when really you should be having energy with Laura, the bitch who was telling you, I don't give a fuck about you crying, shut up, I'll slap you in the face as you're crying. Why are we having this energy for me? Like, I feel like your anger is in the wrong place. So then, I addressed everything I said, and I said, okay, I'm gonna address everything you said. I understand completely the boy crazy thing and how annoying that can be and upsetting, and I for real do apologize for that. I'm young, I like being with boys and shit, and I never really had anyone sit and tell me about myself when it came to them. TBH, if you would have just told me straight up about the boy stuff back then, I would have woke the fuck up right then and there and realized, and wouldn't have felt any kind of way. The only reason I did is because I didn't know it even bothered you, and I was confused on why you wanted those rules for me. I understand now, and again, I'm sorry. Then, he also said that in his paragraph that the Patrick thing was a joke. I said next, I didn't know that the Patrick thing was a joke because I was already not really feeling the vibe there because Patrick was supposed to do all of our Halloween looks and ultimately ghosted us about it when it was his idea. So the way he said it, low-key just pissed me off, and Laura texted me and said it was weird that was said, which is when I was like, wait, that was kind of weird. I had no idea it was a joke. Then we get into the Douse Party thing. I also mentioned the Douse Party thing very briefly. I said I wasn't really upset about it, but I'm just saying this also added me into me feeling some type of way. So he basically testified and was like, why don't you feel this type of way towards Lord? Because Lord also went to the party. To which I replied, I didn't ask Lord why he went with you or anything, and there's not really a double standard because Lord has been knowing him way longer, and you and I are best friends, and plus I actually did tell Lord I still felt the way about it towards him too. Whenever me and Lord had that conversation on the way home, I literally told Lord to his face, I said, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I did feel some kind of way whenever you guys were telling me y'all are gonna go to a party when this person we have all agreed has singled me out multiple times. And this isn't me making it a big problem, but I'm still just letting it be known how I feel. And I think it's very reasonable to feel that way. And then I said, Lord has been knowing him way longer, and you and I are best friends, and plus I actually did tell Lord about the way I felt towards him too. But again, I wasn't trying to make it anything. I think any normal person would be like, damn, having to watch your two best friends get ready all day for some party they're not invited to. Then, at the end of Sky's argument, whenever he was yelling at me, he basically tried to say that I was doing it all because I wanted some dick from a boy that I just met that day. Talking about Christian because I was laid up with Christian. I didn't get no dick from Christian, and it was nothing to do with Christian at all. And so whenever he said it has something to do with me and Christian, I'm like, no, it didn't. There was literally people with us the whole time too. And so I said, and I wasn't only with Eddie and the boy all day. It was me, him, Lord, Anya, 5 of us. Again, I completely understand how Lord being at WeHo alone looks, but for real, it wasn't even like that, and I hope you understand that now. The Evan stuff. I said, as for Evan not being able to go, we thought we would come right back, and Evan also spent the night there the night before, so it's not like he was just completely unfamiliar, and when he said he was okay with it. And it wasn't that he wasn't invited. Eddie told us to only bring me, Lord, and the plug because he was getting noise complaints the night before. And as for the double standard for the going places your best friend aren't invited, you're my best friend, me and Evan have hung out twice. I wouldn't have really gave a damn if Evan went somewhere I'm not invited. It's different because we're literally best friends. He basically tried to say that Evan wasn't invited to Eddie's Airbnb afters, and Eddie's apartment afters, and that since I went, I was having a double standard. But it's like, me and Evan have nowhere near the relationship that me and you have, so why would I feel some type of way about anything that he does before I do about you? Then he basically was saying the whole stuff about the crying. He was like, well, if they were being weird at me crying, why'd you hang out with them? To which I said, also, the people at Eddie's was just me, Eddie, Lord, Christian, and Anya. The people being worried about you crying was some girl named Madison that left in the plug, which I didn't hang out with again, and I don't even know him. So I didn't spend the day with people being worried about you crying. I would never do that. With this, I'm basically just kind of summing up like all the points that he's hitting, and I'm basically just, explaining my side about it. And I was like, and also I don't think me leaving was childish at all. I literally felt so alone. It was really so much more the fact that everyone let it happen, no one checked on me, and there was a new small drama every day. My gut just told me to go the fuck home, and so I did just that. I also missed this, but I wasn't chilling in the bed with them. Oh, he basically tried to say that I was chilling in the bed with Christian and Eddie whenever he got to the Airbnb originally before he cussed me out, but I wasn't in bed with them because I just opened the door for you. And I said, also I missed this, but I wasn't chilling in the bed with them. I literally came and opened the door for you and then stood in his room right next to the entrance. I was on the couch upstairs when you called me, and I came down to open the door because Eddie was sleeping. Then he sent a paragraph back, and we're basically just like, okay, we ended the boys thing and the Patrick thing. We threw that out the window. We're over that. And we're talking about now the two situations that have nothing to do with me and him directly. And so we're basically just going back and forth, and there's no reason to show the other messages because, girl, we're saying the same thing over and over again, and we're both just like stating how we feel about it. Y'all know how we both feel about it. Y'all saw his live. Y'all are watching my video. You know how we feel about it. There's no point in me reading every single thing. And so after we end up texting and whatever, and we just do a whole bunch of back and forth, I was like, you know what, like I understand. And mind you, the whole back and forth, I'm not gonna lie, he's being very like attitude prone with me, and I'm not being any of the sort. And I'm just confused on where the energy is coming from, like I said, because I've never ever had that type of static for you ever. Now, that's pretty much it as for what was going on up until Wednesday, Thursday, today's Sunday. So that was pretty much everything that happened. Yeah, up until yesterday, that's everything that was happening. Now, let me address what the hell Lord did on live last night. Okay guys, I am editing right now. Ignore the light streak. I don't know why it's doing that. But basically, I can't save this clip, but this is Lord last night crying.
Put my life on danger for 2 hours because you didn't tell Sai that I was a fucking weeho. Bro,
Like, girl, you were never upset about the situation until randomly last night when you get some alcohol in your system. So, as for Lord, I just pray for Lord, honestly. Like, he clearly has some deeper shit going on, girl, because as I'm editing this, he's saying that I copied his merch and stuff because I asked him for merch and then I dropped merch. Girl, I was trying to be supportive and be your friend and wear your merch and shit, and our merch does not look nothing alike, and we have two completely different concepts. So as for Lord, I'm gonna keep this real short and sweet because I already addressed him on TikTok, but there's clearly like, that shit is just like a personal issue, dead ass, because it had nothing to do with him at all. He inserted himself and brought everything to online, because me and Sty literally both were keeping the shit offline until last night when Lord came into the picture and tried to say all that shit. Then Sty got on live basically clarifying what really happened from his point of view, and now this is I guess I'm the last person to speak or whatever the fuck, because after this, there's nothing else to say. We all said our side, so there's nothing else to really argue about. I don't know if you guys saw, but last night, Lord was on live, and he was basically saying, Chris put my life in danger, Chris left me at WeHo, and Chris did this and that. And I'm like, what the fuck? Where is this coming from? Because let me tell y'all, Lord has literally been checking up on me every single day. We've been talking every single day. Lord has literally been like, I'm on your side, whatever. And I feel like Lord also feels a lot of types of ways about Sty, because whenever Lord would literally get drunk, he would say this and that about Sty. Like, not about talking shit about Sty, but he'll say like, oh, we should have just left Sty or whatever, and why are you choosing Sty's side over mine? And I wanted to talk to Sty about that because, like I said, me and Sty were best friends before Lord even came into the picture. And before I could even talk to him about it, all that shit happened. And so whenever I'm hearing that Lord's talking shit about me, I'm like, this is crazy, because Lord's literally using my Uber account to ride around LA as we speak. Y'all know how he got his phone stolen, he got a new one, he couldn't sign into his old Uber account. So Lord has literally been using my Uber account to get around. So you're telling me you're talking shit about me on live as you're logged into my Uber account, using that to get yourself around and the people with you? That doesn't make any sense to me. Now, let me read you guys me and Lord's messages. Then Monday, whenever I got home, Lord texted me, he goes, hey, you okay? I'm a little bit worried. I was like, yeah, I feel so much better now that I'm at home. Not gonna lie, LA was just too much drama and it was daily. If I'm ever uncomfortable or feel disrespected, I'm simply gonna leave. And that was that. Lord had been checking on me every day and everything, and we're listening on it. He was like, I wish you could have stayed with me. Like, I feel bad reading everything because I didn't defend you at the moment when he was speaking to you at Eddie's, but then at the same time, I didn't want to talk over him and get in the middle of it. I honestly thought you were gonna come back to the B&B and talk to Sty, but I fully understand why you went to the room, or I thought you were going to wait till the morning to talk to him. And I was literally so shocked that you left. I'm low-key sad because you missed the podcast today and Halloween weekend in general. I wish you stayed. You could have gone to my Airbnb and stayed with me. So clearly Lord is not upset with me at all, and everything is fine. And we're like literally just talking. Everything's good. He's checking me up every day. And then now Lord is pretending about he's pretending to care about the WeHo situation last night is what he was doing, saying that, oh, I'm dragging it and this and that. First of all, whenever Sty announced that we took a break from our friendship, I'm not the one who announced that first. So let's stop saying Chris brought anything to the internet. Chris did not bring shit to the internet. Chris is going to tell you guys that I had family stuff going on and not have anything even touch the internet. But it was Ty's choice to tell the internet that we were on a break. And after that happened, Lord randomly last night, you could obviously tell he was intoxicated, went on live and was saying, oh, Chris put my life in danger, and then started crying. Like, what the hell? Like, that was just a lot for me to see. So Lord also said, I told him to not worry about the WeHo situation like 7 times, but he kept saying it was the principal. I still had fun even though I was looking for him for an hour. You are nowhere near upset with me. You nowhere near have an attitude with me. You've been using my Uber account to ride around LA. And not even to mention, I'm not throwing this in your face because, Lord, you get money. You're not a broke ass bitch. If you hit your Zelle limit, whatever. But yesterday at 3:13 a.m., you said, Chris, I know you're mad at me, but I have a favor. I reached my limit on Zelle. Can you cash at me $500? I swear I'll pay you back in the morning. Honestly, I didn't reply to it on purpose. That was weird to me. I'm like, do you feel comfortable asking me these things when y'all, whenever this whole stuff was going down between me and Star, whatever, on the internet, and I was taking a break, Lord was liking shady comments towards me. And when I sent it to him, he was like, oh, I was drunk. That was an accident. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, you're telling me this, but why are you not saying this on the video? Like, why are you not defending me at all? Like, why are you letting this shit happen? Like, you're over here letting people run with the narrative that you know isn't true and that you've told me that you don't think is true. And you're supposed to be, like, you're playing both sides, basically what's happening. And I'm just so confused on why Star and Lord have all this energy for me that they should really be having for each other. Because, girl, like, I've never got smart with y'all. I've never had any type of animosity towards y'all. Never had any ill will towards any of y'all. And if y'all have ever been done wrong, and if you call the WeHo situation being done wrong, which I don't think personally it was, but if you do think that's being done wrong, that's not intentional. And so I still took accountability for it, even though I felt like I wasn't in the wrong. I took accountability because sometimes you have to look at things from other people's perspective. Even when sometimes you really don't want to, you have to, just to make things cordial and make things good. So I'm like, you were just comfortable asking me for $500 not even 24 hours ago. You've been using my Uber account to ride around all week long. You've literally been checking on me every single day. We were just on the phone earlier and you were giving me updates and you were telling me what Sty said whenever I left and everything, giving me updates. And now all of a sudden it's, you left me at WeHo drunk and alone and da-da-da-da. No, you were sober, babe. And you wanted to go there yourself. And how did I leave you somewhere when I never went there in the first place? That's what I'm failing to understand. Now, as for the whole Lord situation, he called me. Hold on, I think I had some notes on this. Oh, yeah. Lord also posted on Snapchat literally days before he said that and was like, someone was like, do you miss Chris? And he was like, duh. And I was like, oh, I miss you too, whatever. So it's like, if you were mad at me, why would you go out of your way to post and say that you missed me? You were comfortable enough to ask me for $500 the night before. You told me stay in a child's place. When you followed me a year ago, you followed me on everything. I didn't come to you and be like, let's be friends. You came to me and were following me on everything, added me on Snapchat, everything the same day. You said you look super cool. I was 17, so if you didn't want to hang out with children, why'd you hit me up and try to hang out with me? You know what I mean? Like, and I wasn't a child whenever we went out drinking and partying and everything. I wasn't a child then. When we go to the club all the time, I'm not a child then. So am I a child now? I'm so confused. Then you're saying, complaining about me making your LA mutuals look bad whenever I went live talking about LA, but you're also the reason that I know that influencers even sell their souls or play with the devil or anything. Everyone knows celebrities play with the devil. Everyone knows celebrities sell their souls. I never knew that influencers did it until you're the one who told me what influencers that you know who sold their soul and play with the devil and stuff. So the only reason I even knew about that shit was because of you. Then we always talked about how LA was an evil, scary place, which is what I said earlier. And now suddenly you're taking offense to LA slander when you're not even from there and you don't live there. Don't live there. I'm confused on why you're taking offense to it, especially because whenever I was saying that whole stuff, they were mainly attacking Sty, saying he sold his soul. Nothing was about you. So it's like, why did you insert yourself? And I don't understand why the people around him let him even go live and keep talking, because it was very much obviously in circles and it was very much just like, what the fuck's going on? And yeah, that was pretty much the end of the Lord situation. I don't really have much to say. Like, I spoke my piece about that on live last night. Also, wait, before I do it in this video, I just realized that I didn't really address that Evan was not mad at me either. As y'all saw, Lord was not upset with me, so that's why I was confused as to why Star was yelling at me. And also, Evan was nowhere near upset with me either. This is the paragraph that Evan had sent to me, and he also mentioned that he got touched while he was at Eddie's house and whenever he was at Lord's house. He addressed that it was not my fault at all. He said, I never said anything about you. It wasn't a comment about you. I didn't take the whole situation personal, and I didn't bring it up with you because I didn't think it needed to be a big thing. I know you wouldn't purposely put me in a situation like that. It did throw me off a little bit that I was left with people I didn't know, but I wasn't trying to make it anything. Me and Evan talked about it. I apologized. I said, no, you and your feelings are completely valid. You can read the whole thing if you want. But yeah, this is what I said. And I was just like basically addressing that no one cared for me. And then he was like, no, yeah, I'd be embarrassed too. I totally see where you're coming from and whatever. So that's the end of that. So Evan's not mad at me. Lord is also not mad at me at this point. But that is essentially why I really did leave LA. And before I end this video, I really want to say that the reason for our friendship breakup is literally this. The dumbest shit ever is literally this. Don't try to make think pieces of, oh, Chris bullied Sty. How the fuck am I going to bully someone that's 3 years older than me? If he doesn't want to hang around me, he doesn't have to. We go out of our way to hang out with each other. Obviously, if someone felt like they were bullied or someone felt like they were like, anything, they wouldn't continue to hang out with them, plan trips with them, nothing. And if they did, that's fake influencer shit. I don't sit in people's faces. If I have a problem with someone or if I don't like someone, I'm not going to collab with them. I'm not going to keep it up, which is why I was basically doubling down on the fact that I am too real for this weird ass industry, like for real, because people will sit and talk shit about you, or people will know that someone talked shit about them but will jump at the opportunity to collab with them or jump to go to their party or anything like that, which I really just don't partake in. Like, if I say something about someone, I stand on it every single time. And I feel like that's just not what was being done here, especially with Lord, because Lord has told me a lot of things that he just doesn't really seem to stand on. And it's like, I don't even know. And then last night, I got a call from some guy I used to talk to that was in WeHo, and apparently he ran into Lord, and Lord was saying some shit about a lawsuit, whatever. Obviously, he was intoxicated, but girl, you cannot sue me for anything that I've said. Like, literally everything I said is the truth, and everything is what happened. And all I know is I did nothing wrong to any of you guys, especially intentionally, so that's the only reason that I'm even able to live with the situation. But I feel like now it's very clear where I belong. I want to stay here. I want to be in Houston. I want to be with my real friends, my family, my own crib, my own car. Like, this is where I belong, and this is, you know, why I am who I am. I'm not who I am. I'm not the YouTuber that I am because I go to LA and I collab with people and I be seen with people. No, I am who I am because I'm the real authentic version of myself, and I'm so happy and confident with my life and myself that the moment I feel disrespected or unwanted, I'm allowed to remove myself because I know at the end of the day I can come home to a good life. And so with that being said, that is ultimately the reason why I left LA, and it was just because I am happy enough with myself that I don't tolerate any type of bullshit. I don't tolerate any type of disrespect. I don't. So I helped him remove myself from the situation, and that is pretty much the end of everything that happened. I don't really have anything else to say. Sty spoke on live about this, and this is my response to it. Lord spoke on live last night. This is also my response to it. Thank you guys for watching why I left Los Angeles, California, and cheers to a new era. Love you guys.